and welcome to the Bates Motel. I know what you're thinking, but this is not that Bates Motel. The one that you've been reading about in the newspapers the past couple of weeks. The Bates Motel where all of those horrid murders took place. No. You see, that Bates Motel was owned and operated by my brother, Norman Bates. The good one. This Bates Motel is owned and operated by me, Nathan, and I'm very nice. And I think you're very nice too, and here's how I know. You're not even really here. You're just the voices in my head that I talk to when I'm feeling a little bit lonely. And you've been nice enough to sit here and let me explain who I am, even though you know, and you've heard me think it a million times. Well, thank you, voices in my head. I appreciate that very, very much. Hey, voices in my head, I know you like to tell me what to do, and it must be terribly frustrating not to be able to talk to me, so why don't we just relieve some of that pent-up frustration right now? On the count of 3, why don't you just shout out, since it's almost Halloween, what you think I should go as for Halloween this year? 1, 2, 3!
Your mother.
She's dead. I like you, voices. Hey, voices in my head, why don't you tell me what I should have for dinner tonight? And don't say my mother. 1, 2, 3! Oh, delicious. I think I'll have all of those things. Hey, voices in my head, do you know what I like most about owning and operating a motel like this? Well, it's staring right outside of this window and looking at all of the wonderful people as they walk by the street in front of the motel. Why don't you look with me, voices in my head? My goodness, don't they look marvelous? Wow, voices in my head, you have hands in my head, too. That's nice. It tickled my brain. You know, voices in my head, I just have a feeling that one of these marvelous people are going to stop and check into our motel tonight. You're always so good at guessing. Why don't you take a guess, voices in my head? Just shout it out. You can identify them by the color or something about them that they're wearing. Which one of these people do you think is going to stop and check into the motel tonight?
Me.
You'll have to be louder, and on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Me.
I'm hearing mink coat. You know, voices in my head, looking at that marvelous person just makes me imagine she must have some strange and unusual reason for checking into our motel tonight. Why don't you take another guess? What strange and unusual reason do you think this woman has for checking into our motel?
Her house is fumigated.
Her house is being fumigated. I don't know, voices in my head. You're usually very intuitive about these things, but I can't imagine a wonderful, sophisticated woman like that would be checking in for such a mundane reason. I'm sure you can't be right. Oh well, there's no way to find out except asking her. Well, hello, Mrs. Bailey, and thank you so much for choosing our motel.
Well, thank you.
I hope you'll be comfortable in this suite. It's the largest suite in the whole motel.
Why, it looks just fine.
Thank you. Hey, Mrs. Bailey, I'm sorry, but I just have to know, why did you check into our motel tonight?
Well, you'd be surprised. My home. is being fumigated. I got out just in time. Everything I need right there.
My goodness, what has been infesting your home?
Honestly, I can't say for sure. You see, it's the odor that most is noticeable. It's a strange odor, and I'm hoping that the fumigation actually removes that odor.
Do you think it's some type of insect?
Well, it's possible. You know, I noticed on the wall that you have a stuffed squirrel.
Yes, that's right. I killed it myself.
Oh, well, perhaps you should come to my house, because those are quite rampant right now.
Do you imagine that the reason there's a strange odor in your house is because there's a dead squirrel somewhere?
I hadn't thought of it that way.
You know, Mrs. Bailey, if it is a dead squirrel, it's very likely that at this point, maggots have developed.
Is that what happens when something dies?
And then, of course, the maggots sometimes collect gnats.
Why, I'd say that you know quite a bit about this subject.
And the gnats collect fleas.
And then what happens? Go ahead. Tell me.
Well, then it just sits there, somewhere deep in the woodwork, or perhaps in the crawl space beneath your house, and it festers, and the odor becomes more and more putrid, until finally it seeps up through the paneling and the floors, and there's no escaping it anymore, almost like a buried secret working its way into your mind. This is the sofa, and here's the bar. You're welcome to help yourself.
Would you mind? I feel that I need something strong.
Oh, I'd be very happy to offer you a drink. Would you like gin, bourbon, or brandy?
Brandy. It's what my father always drank.
Really? I always say you can always trust a man who drinks brandy.
You didn't know my father.
Was he untrustworthy?
I would say so.
Tell me about it.
It's a long story. Do you
I have nowhere to go.
Well, let me tell you. My father was quite scandalous. In fact, the money that I inherited didn't even belong to him. And I'm telling you this, but you must not repeat this, please.
I won't tell a soul, and neither will Rocky.
Well, here's to Rocky.
He's dead.
All the better.
Tell me about your father.
Well, you see, my father, if he's still alive, I don't actually know if he's still alive. I inherited his estate. You see, he filed many insurance claims in his time, and by the time he passed, the estate was quite large.
Do you think your father's dead? Is it possible that it's your father that's dead in the crawl space beneath your house, gathering the maggots and the gnats and the fleas?
You speak of this as if you've had someone dear to you that's decomposed in your crawl space.
Is that a metaphor?
Take it as you like.
Well, to be honest with you, yes, I've had dear people die. I understand how sometimes it's tempting to push their memory far away.
Sometimes more tempting than you can imagine.
Well, how long can we expect the delight of your company?
Well, the fumigators told me they would need 3 days. The house is completely tented. But honestly, I don't trust going back there for another week.
I hope you'll stay here. It's very comfortable. We have a table where you can eat food. Don't eat the fruit or vegetables. They're wax. And the bedroom and the bathroom are back there. As I said, this is our largest suite. Would you like me to put your suitcases in the back for you?
Please, please do. Curious that there's dead fruit. Huh. Strange. Why is it wax, or was it once alive and now it's stuffed like... Do you do taxidermy?
From time to time.
Why, this is real. This is not wax. This was once alive.
My goodness, she's inquisitive. I hope I don't kill her. I'm trying so hard to be good, and it's been such a long time since I've killed one of my guests. I can, you know. Anytime I want to, I can kill her with this knife. But as I say, I really want to be good. That's why I drink milk. I find it purifies me.
Is this your milk here?
Yes.
Curious. What kind of man drinks milk?
A very calm man. Mrs. Bailey, I hope that you'll find comfort here as your house is fumigating. And I hope that anything that lies deep beneath the crawl space of your house is safely evacuated.
Thank you for your concern.
Well, I'll leave you to make yourself comfortable and settle in.
Thank you.
If it's all right, I'll just leave this here.
Well, if you must. I suppose it's fine to leave that glass of milk there.
Oh, I'll probably kill her pretty soon. Well, good night.
Thank you. Oh, dear.
Patricia, are you there?
Oh,
Ah, I'm sorry I'm late.
hello,
Oh, hello, darling.
my darling.
The drive was dreadful, so long.
You must meet, did you meet the man at the front?
No.
It's
Why?
quite strange.
A strange man was here.
Oh, no, he's the proprietor, the man
Ah.
that owns this place. But I thought maybe you'd run into him.
No, I did not run into anyone. Well, a small town like this, I'm sure we'll have strange people coming and going. Anyway, how are you doing, sweetie?
Oh, I'm a wreck.
I know. That dreadful smell, I tried to go by your house this afternoon. I couldn't stand it. Even from the outside of the house, the pungent odor was quite striking.
I do hope that this fumigation will take care of it. For once and for all.
Well, you're welcome to come stay at my house, Patricia. Why is it that you refuse? You know how much I care about you and love you?
Richard, what would people say? A married woman who's estranged from her husband?
You...
Going staying with her close friend who's a man?
Close friend. Friend? Friends don't do what we do, Patricia. Patricia, I love you. I know that you are still married, but I always hoped that you would leave Charles immediately, divorce him, and be with me. He doesn't treat you the way I would, Patricia. He doesn't love you the way I do.
Richard, you know well I cannot leave him.
Why? Why? Is it because he's much better looking than me? Wealthier? More talented?
Charles, it's the money.
So it's the wealth, of course. Listen, I know I'm just a lowly insurance salesman for home property, but that doesn't mean I still can't offer you something greater. What's in here?
I believe that what's in there is real, and I would so much like to have that. see, I'm afraid that your salary alone wouldn't be enough to support the lifestyle that I've become accustomed to. And there was some way that perhaps, I don't know.
What way would that be? Kill your husband? Have it look like an accident? That's ridiculous.
Did you just say that?
Did I just say what?
That's what I thought.
That's what you think.
I think I know what I heard.
I think you know what I think I said that you heard.
I know what I think about what I heard that you said.
But do you say what you think?
No. Because what I think is that you just suggested that someone murder my husband.
Did I? Well,
I would never say that out loud.
neither would I. But I did.
Of course not.
I shouldn't have.
You didn't.
Well, a toast, then. To your husband.
To my husband.
Oh. Well. Someone's coming. Are you expecting anyone?
I know. No.
Oh!
Richard,
Well!
how's it, old boy? It's been quite a while.
It has been quite a while. I came to make sure that you two are doing well and Patricia is comfortable here. Of course, the house is being fumigated, and I came here to offer any services that I may.
Yes, a good man.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're very welcome.
Charles, he's offered to write up a claim for our issues in
Yes.
the house.
Ah, thank you, Patricia. That's quite lovely of you. Him,
Yes.
Richard.
Anything for you two.
Thank you. Darling, would you like a drink?
I would. Charles, would you bother?
Be so kind.
Please.
What's your pleasure, son?
Go. Ah. Brandy.
Ah.
Patricia, you look exhausted. Please, sit down.
Darling, do you know what it's like to have to put everything I own into a cupboard, a bookcase, get everything off the floor?
Of course I don't, and you don't either. Don't pretend. We pay people for that.
Of course, I had to oversee it all.
Yes, darling, you had to oversee it all.
Well, I should probably get going.
No, please, stay. It's not awkward at all.
I do appreciate the offer, but I'm just down the hall, room number 4.
Thank you, Richard.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was told there were no more rooms.
Well, I got lucky, I guess.
Yes, lucky number 4.
I'll go ahead and write up the paperwork for your home.
Thank you, Rich.
Don't mention it.
God, is this the only place you can find?
Charles,
I do hope it's a king-size bed. Tell me it's at least a king-size bed.
I haven't even looked. Of course you would want a king-size bed.
It's a queen.
It's a queen, it's a queen.
I suppose you'll have to sleep on the couch then.
Pardon me.
All right, I'll see if...
Maybe that strange fellow has a pull-out of some kind. A cot or something.
We must make the best of this situation, Patricia.
Yes, Charles. We absolutely must.
At least there's a bar.
And what's 5-6 days together alone?
Oh, interminable, that's what it is.
What it is what people need to see. Stop it with your tapping. Charles.
Do you love him?
Pardon me?
Richard. The least we can be with each other, darling, is honest.
Charles, you know that things between us haven't been good for a long time. You know that the longer you stay apart from me and distant emotionally, the easier it is for me to fall in love with somebody else.
Of course.
And what would you expect me to do then?
I'd expect you to keep your dalliances discreet. Discreet dalliances. It's what we agreed on. Discreet dalliances.
Well, who knows about it then? What have you been following me? Tapping the phones?
Of
Watching
course
me-
not, honey. I pay people for that.
Charles, I think we should face this head on and do what we both know needs to be done.
All right?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, but do you own a green car, license plate CSU VRUF?
Yes, I do.
I'm afraid you'll have to move it. It's in a no parking zone.
Ah. Right away. Apologies.
My goodness, you're in a fix, aren't you? Here you are, hoping to have a dalliance with the man you love. But your estranged husband shows up and moves into the motel room, which, by the way, will be an extra $1.99.
That's fine.
I couldn't help but overhear your entire conversation through that hole in the wall.
Why? You've been listening.
Yes, yes, I have. Your life seems rather pathetic.
Look at you, telling me that I'm pathetic.
Yeah.
You, with this highway side motel. You.
My